All right. Going to call the Justice Committee to order. Do we have any appearance by members of the public?
Chairman Erickson, we have no requests for speakers this evening.
All right. What is it, Susan, that you like me to do on 3A and 3B? Combine them? Is that what you want me to do?
Actually, if you just say, we have a consent agenda and ask for a motion and don't even say what they are, you probably can
Okay.
do it that quickly.
Is that okay, Mr. Lawyer? All right, thank you. All right, so we have a consent agenda. We had 3A, approval of the minutes, and we had 3B, recommend approval of bills and transfers. We have bills in the amount of $464,305.05. Then we have a letter from our county auditor saying that she has reviewed the bills and that they are in compliance with McLean County ordinances and resolutions. And do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes or any questions about the bills? Did you have some? Oh, we have a transfer too. Where's that? What page is it on? We have bills and a transfer. Oh, all right. How about I just say bills and transfers? Can we just say that? Bills and transfers. All right. Any questions or any additions or corrections? All right, seeing none, we're voting on items 3A and 3B. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next item on the agenda. Oh, I didn't take a motion? Oh, come on. All right, let's start over on 3A and 3B. Can I have a motion to approve? Motion by member Bell. Schaefer, you've thrown me off tonight. Yeah, second by member Schaefer. Any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, we're voting on items 3A and 3B. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next item on the agenda is item 4A, Molly Evans, Children's Advocacy Center Director. We have no items for action, but we do have the monthly reports. She's not here, so, all right, well, that's not gonna work. Did you have anything you wanna say about the monthly reports?
Chairman Erickson, I do not have any comments on behalf of Molly Evans, but I will attempt to answer any questions that any committee members might have.
Does any member have any questions? All right, seeing none, then we will move on. Item 4B, Kathy Yoder, McLean County Coroner. We have no items for action. We do have the coroner's monthly report. Ms. Yoder, anything you'd like to say about that?
No, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Does any member have any questions? All right, thank you. Anything else you'd like to add?
Have a good evening.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4C, Ron Lewis, Public Defender. We have no items for action. We do have the Public Defender's caseload report. Mr. Lewis, anything you'd like to say about that?
Nothing else to say on that. Thank you.
All right, any questions? Anything you'd like to say?
No, thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is, Will Scanlon's not here either, so we have no items for action and nothing for information. Next item on the agenda is item 4E, Suzanne Montoya, Court Services Director. We have no items for action. We do have the Court Services Adult and Juvenile Division statistics. Ms. Montoya, anything you'd like to say about that?
Just standard monthly statistics, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does any member have any questions? All right, anything you'd like to add?
I would like to bring to the attention of the committee that we have experienced some issues with our SAMHSA grant, which is our Veterans Treatment Court circuit-wide grant, and a depletion of those funds. So I have approached the Administrative Office of Illinois Courts for a fully funded Veterans Treatment Court coordinator position for the 11th Judicial Circuit. So there is likely going to need to be intergovernmental agreement presented to the committee, which would include the cost of fringe for each county within the circuit. So I will probably be having that prepared and presented for next month. I think that we are going to try to expedite that position and possibly see if the administrative office can start that funding on March 1st. If possible. Retro it.
Thing you want to say?
The Veterans Treatment Court exists as a circuit, which is unusual for a problem-solving court. Typically, they are funded and operated individually per county. Due to the number of veterans served in the smaller communities, it made sense to combine this as a circuit-wide program. Unfortunately, the funding has been depleted, and so we're looking at different ways. Specifically, Suzanne has been looking at ways of keeping this operating as is and serving all of the veterans that we can in the same manner and frequency that we have previously without those federal funds. And so we will come up with a solution that will serve the veterans that we have locally, and it will require lots of cooperation, which I am hopeful that that will come from both the Administrative Office of Illinois Courts as well as our partner agencies in the other 4 counties.
Any questions, Member Schaefer?
Yeah, so we have the SAMHSA grant. Now, I thought that veterans treatment courts were mandated by the state. Is that correct? Am I, through, for each circuit? And so other circuits don't all have SAMHSA grants, obviously, for funding their veterans treatment courts. So how are they coping with the number of veterans that they are trying to serve without that funding? Or is AOIC funding some of that stuff that we don't know about?
Some of the other courts have probation we in McLean County have a fully funded Veterans Treatment Court officer probation position. It was the model of the circuit that the grant was able to have 3 positions through that for the Veterans Treatment Court coordinator position for the entire circuit, as well as the mentor coordinator, and also a contracted case management position with Center for Youth and Family Solutions. So most other counties have just absorbed it within their probation department, and either their probation officers have caseloads that, have veterans on them, as well as any other probation clients. So the funding from SAMHSA, we're trying to make this as seamless as a transition as possible. The biggest component in the funding that we're giving up is the capability to send the stakeholders to trainings and conferences, as well as some of the client incentives. But probation service fees are allowed to pay for client-specific cost. So I'll be able to absorb that through my probation fees budget. But the position, since it's the county administrator stated, is the circuit-wide model is very unique, and the 11th Judicial Circuit is the only circuit in the state of Illinois that operates that way. And so to keep it running the way it has been, that was the request to the administrative office for that circuit-wide position, which they have accepted. We actually did that last May and then kind of rescinded it because we thought that we had the grant and a no-cost extension for another year, but have found out that we don't have the amount of funds that we had requested in last July. So they had basically given us the funds for the last year of the grant and had extended the date of the no-cost extension, but not given us any additional funding.
Any other questions?
Just that, what can we do in the future so this doesn't happen? I mean, what we can do in the future, We want to provide the services, the training, but how can we prevent this from happening as far as grants?
I think unfortunately our department just went through so many transitions with this grant and several different authorized officials on the grant and program managers on the grant. So I would hope moving forward that there would just be a greater understanding of the different grants, if whether it's SAMHSA or BJA grants, and, you know, what's needed with the carryover of funds with grants.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, thank you, Ms. Montoya. All right, next item on the agenda is item 4F, Erica Reynolds, McLean County State's Attorney. We have one item for action, item 4F1A, request approval of a grant agreement between the State of Illinois, Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, and McLean County, agreement number 222046. And can I have a motion to approve? Motion by Member Tompkins, second by Member Abraham. Any comments? Well, Ms. Reynolds, do you have anything you'd like to say about that?
Yes, this is a grant that we already had in existence, and we have applied for it. There was a period of time where it had lapsed and we didn't know if it was going to be available. It subsequently became available, so we're asking for this to be approved. This aids in the victim witness unit within our office to be able to essentially hold the hands of victims going through the criminal justice system.
Does any member have any questions? All right, seeing none, we're voting on item, I need to read that all again. All right, 4F1A. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, next item on the agenda is item 4F2A, the state's attorney's caseload and forfeiture fund reports. Ms. Reynolds, anything you'd like to say about those?
This is just our standard monthly report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Does any member have any questions? All right, seeing none. Anything else you'd like to add?
Good news on the hiring front. I currently have 4 individuals that have applied for 2 existing positions. One of those individuals is a fully licensed attorney. The other 3 are attorneys in law school. So things are looking up in that arena. And I would like to thank the county board for their assistance with that.
Thank you, guys. All right, anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4G, Don Everhart, McLean County Circuit Clerk. We have no items for action. We do have the reports of the Circuit Clerk. Mr. Everhart, anything you'd like to say about those?
No, sir, but I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Does any member have any questions? All right, seeing none. Anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Everhart?
Have a good evening, sir.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is item 4H, Matt Lane, McLean County Sheriff. We have one item for action. Item 4H1A, request approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the County of McLean, the Village of Carlock, and the McLean County Sheriff. And can I have a motion to approve? Have a motion by Member Tompkins, a second by Member Bell. Mr. Lane, anything you'd like to say about that?
The Village of Carlock has not had, they had some dedicated hours from the Danvers Police Department until recently. The Danvers Police Department is looking to fill their staff back up and had to cancel that contract. They're looking for some more dedicated hours from our department, and we came to an agreement, if you all agree, to fill those hours.
Does any member have any questions? All right, seeing none, we are voting on item 4H1A. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right. Next item on the agenda is item 4H2A, the Sheriff's Monthly Statistical Report. Mr. Lane, anything you want to say about that?
I have nothing to add to those statistics unless somebody has a question.
Does any member have any questions? All right, anything else you'd like to add?
On the mental health front, We have 10 people unfit to stand trial right now. We have 2 that are not guilty by reason of insanity that we're holding. And we have several, we're whittling down the amount of parolees. I think right now we have 14 with local charges that are waiting to be sent to DOC once those charges are resolved. So hopefully it keeps going that direction.
Any member have any questions? Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4I, Cassie Taylor, County Administrator. We have one item for action, item 4I1A, request approval of an emergency appropriation ordinance amending the McLean County fiscal year 2023 combined annual appropriation and budget ordinance. And can I have a motion to approve? Motion by Member Schaefer, second by Member Abraham. Ms. Taylor, you want to say anything about that?
Yes, thank you, Chairman Erickson. This is an annual end-of-year cleanup for the general ledger. This ordinance would clean up those general ledger items that relate to the departments that come to this oversight committee.
Any member have any questions? All right, seeing none, we're voting on item 4I1A. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next item is item 4I2, information. Anything you'd like to say? All right. Next item, other business and communication. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. And we are adjourned. Thank you.